Hey, it's Tim Warren and Jeremy Garrett here. We're back with part 3 of the Travel Trade Show Marketing Success, a mini course where we're going to help you generate more leads, more sales, and make travel trade show marketing a even better venue for marketing. If you haven't watched part 1 where we looked at what to do long before the show to maximize opportunity, part 2 what we looked at on some strategies and tips and best practices on what to do during the show, including boothmanship and how to make sure your exhibit, your stand itself was selling. Well, now we're going to look at part 3, which is probably I think one of the biggest areas of opportunities for most people. This is what to do after the show, because there's lots of opportunities for leads and sales, but really it's about starting a relationship, and you've met these new people who are interested in your show, and this is about converting those leads into sales. So Jeremy, in the concept of follow-up, do you have some good examples of things that you've seen that worked really, really well to turn those prospects into sales and or arrivals for destinations?
Yeah, definitely. As we mentioned, it's great if you have some sort of lead generator at your stand. That could be some sort of giveaway. And it doesn't have to be anything big. It could be, a bottle of wine from where you live, an iPad. You could go big and do some sort of a trip, or if you're a hotel, you could do a weekend stay or something like that. Those are all great things. I know one show that we did, my wife came along and she went to all the different booths and was signing up. And literally the week after, we got a phone call from a hotel in Maine, and I would say at least once a month for the next 6 months, we got some sort of a phone call or a note card or some sort of correspondence from them, saying, it was good to meet you at the show. We've got this great weekend special coming up. Hope you'll take advantage of it. Literally for 6 months after the show, we continued to hear from this company. And I regret I didn't have a chance to go do it, but they're certainly in my list now for when I go to that part of Maine.
Yeah.
I'm going to sit there and I'm going to give them my money because they were just so dedicated at putting that out there. So yeah, definitely you want to have some sort of a lead generator. Hopefully it's more than just signing up names, but something so that at the end of the day, you can go back to your office and your boss and whoever, and you can say, here's the list of people that I've got, and then enter them in your database, which is always a thankless task, but it's critical, and then devise how you're going to follow up with them. Reference that it was great to see you at the travel show. And I'm glad we talked about XYZ. You may have written like a special note, like they are interested in scuba, or they love, whatever it might be. So hopefully you've written some sort of notes. If you took business cards, then hopefully you wrote something on there. As long as you've got some idea of what they're interested in, then you can be even more specific.
This is really, folks, a process. There's a saying that I've liked of marketing and sales, and it's a process of turning strangers into friends and friends into customers, and generally that happens over time. And this multiple modalities of follow-up in a way that speaks to the needs and desires of what that prospect wants is awesome. People are not going to. You didn't feel annoyed. You were touched that they were staying in. You were impressed that they were staying in touch with you, and it was very smart of them that it came from multiple modalities. I also like that what you said about that. To take notes. I really think that's important, folks, that besides a giveaway, if you have, because you've done great boothmanship and you've engaged that client, you may I agree that you should have some sort of lead sheet or some way to keep track of one or two things that they said that was important to them, whether it was a date, a price, whether it was a family, something, and you can add that to your I agree, pre-planned custom follow-up, whether it's an email phone call, letter, or all the above over time that spoke to what it was they need. And you're right, if you keep on keeping them in your what I call a sales funnel and keep sending them relevant, interesting things, people are going to appreciate it. And when they when they make that choice, the name of the game is we want them to choose you. And if you've kept that relationship, you've been working on turning that stranger into a friend, that friend is going to choose to give you money. So there's all kinds of stats out there, but last one I saw is that by doing follow up in a professional, consistent way over time, you can increase your sales conversions up to 65% versus a lot lower by doing little or nothing. And folks, you need to plan this stuff out in advance. Don't just come back from the show and go, oh, what are we going to do now? No, plan this stuff out, and a lot of this can be generic, and there are ways to do autoresponder emails. There's even autoresponder direct mail now, postcards, letters, all that stuff that can be set up and automated and give people touch points over time that really, really work. Let's talk about the second part of an after show. Once again, I think that this is an opportunity that most people don't take advantage of, and we call it debrief. What worked well, what didn't, and how can we do it better? Jeremy, and we were talking before this. You said, what was it that you, as a show management, love to hear from exhibitors, and what's helpful for you to be in service to them better?
Well, you always want to hear what worked well, what they noticed, if there are certain activities or certain personalities, if the floor was laid out in a certain way. All of those things are critical. And vice versa, if there are things that didn't go well, show management needs to hear about it. They may not want to, but if they're honest and they're they want your business, they'll listen to you and they'll try to make changes. That could be anything from how the show might have been marketed, where it was located, where certain parts of the floor plan are. I've been to I've talked to some people and they said I went to this one facility and I got stuck underneath the stairs, or I got stuck behind this big pole. And so if there are ways around that, feasible ways around those sorts of differentiation, then that's good to know. Likewise, if there is a floor plan that does not work, um, everyone needs to hear about that as well. So yeah, good or bad, show management needs to hear about it, and they always love to get positive ideas, reviews, whatever, because then that helps them in future years for selling the next show on their behalf.
So, in addition to the external feedback that you're mentioning, which is really, really wonderful, and if you've watched part one, you'll know that show management is your friend, is an asset, is there to help you be successful. You should be doing some internal review and debriefing on what worked well on your offer, your package, your giveaway. What were some of the most frequently asked questions relative to that package or giveaway? How many leads did you get? How many sales? And really, and think of and look. Also, you should have at the show. You should have been looking around at other booths and other people and learning from what worked well and for them. Because
Right.
often some of the best marketing ideas I've ever gotten are from other people or from customers. And so you should be thinking about, what did I see or learn? Take pictures of other booths. Listen to how other people are engaging them, and take that in and move forward. So, and if you watched part one, the pre-planning, now travel trade show marketing comes full circle. You are now looking at your next show, and hopefully you've been planning already, and you can go and fine tune your marketing. Maybe you need to change your descriptive header banner. Yes, you may have to invest some money in changing some things around in your booth because you learned something that didn't work, or you learned something that worked great. Invest that money and time, plan ahead, and so that when you arrive at the next show, ready to generate more leads, more sales, have more fun, make more money, and really tap into this. Any other suggestions, Jeremy, on the after show as we wrap up here?
I think we've hit quite a few of them.
Yeah.
I can't think of any more. I mean,
Well,
really, it's just taking a look at what worked well for you, what didn't work well, and tweaking it for the next event. And it may all come down to certain shows don't work for you, certain markets don't work for you, and that's something that you have to look at from a financial perspective. But hopefully, when you go to a show, it's successful. You make sales, you make leads, you get long lasting customers out of this. And if you aren't, you need to look at why. It may be the show, it may be the place, but it also may be something that you haven't done correctly, which could affect any other events that you do. So it's critical, and it's so often overlooked that people don't look at what went right, what went wrong, and how to fix it.
yeah, yeah. And just to close on that topic, this is the introspective part, folks, and it's really sad. We spend so much time and money and effort trying to get our message out. We spend so much money on product development, customer service, staff training, but there's so much marketing out there that stinks, that people are not really getting or clarifying what they do or why people should join them, and it happens way too often in trade show marketing. And because people are not taking the time to really be introspective and look around and learn, and then they blame it on trade show management, or where they keep doing the same old thing over and over again and expect different results, and it's insanity. You really got to if is constantly looking at how can I make small incremental improvements that achieve a return on your investment. So, folks, and Jeremy, thank you so much for your time. This has been great. I love doing these quick laser trainings. There are other ideas and suggestions I know that both Jeremy and I have, but we'll on each before, during, and after, and we'll list them on Jeremy's site as well as my site, Travel Business Success. And where can people find this again, Jeremy, on your site?
They can go to j2levents.com.
Very good. Thank you, folks, and happy travel trade show marketing to you.